Welcome to Corepunk World. Today we're gonna see the Mage passive tier and talk about it. There are 5 tiers and in each tier you pick one passive. It reduces the cooldown of abilities by 10% when the character's health drops below 50%. This might sound good, but it's really not, especially compared to the other two, like 10% cooldown reduction. I would prefer to find it somewhere else and choose one of the second or the third one. Increases the character's resource regeneration by 5% for each ability that is on cooldown. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are happy with this because there were problems in the alpha, like health regeneration, mana regeneration was a problem, and we see you get like 5% for each ability that's on cooldown. That's massive, that's huge. Reduces cost of abilities by 10%. Another resource management talent, and now you're going to ask me which one is better, like the second or the third one. In most cases, in most scenarios, the second one will be better. Imagine like you have a character that has a mobility spell, so you can use it out of combat and your regeneration will be higher. Though if you have a character that has very expensive abilities, the third might be better, but to be honest, I think almost every single time the second will be better. Effects that deal periodic damage do not apply periodic damage. Instead, they deal 120% of the total damage to the target when the effect duration ends. Okay, this sounds balanced. Okay, so people that play damage over time characters in other games, you know that the total damage, of all the damage over time is higher than the burst damage. So what you have here is like a time bomb, right? You can see it from the icon, it's like a time bomb. And not only that, you have 20% increased damage in the end. Like, this is so good. The negative side of damage over time abilities is that you have the chance to heal it. You know, you have chance to do something. Now this, just negate this chance and boom, all the damage together. After killing an enemy, abilities cooldown is reduced by 1 second. First of all, this one in PvP is epic trash, like it's totally useless. And in PvE, I mean, okay, 1 second for each mob, it's not that good, but it's something. If the character's ability is interrupted, the next ability within 6 seconds deals 10% increased damage. How many times will your ability be interrupted? And it's not like you get a buff for 6 seconds, it's just the next ability, not even attack 10%, like, I don't like this. Ability interruption effects have a 75% reduction duration on the character. Now 75% is a huge number, and this is for silence. I don't think it's for stun because it will be too OP. Now other interruption effects, maybe blind or something, but in general it's really good. 10% of incoming damage is redirected to mana instead of health. This is for specific builds with huge mana pool. It is a really good defensive, but on the other hand, you have to be careful because if you're low in mana and people are hitting you, then you will have like 0 mana and you can't cast a spell, so be careful about it. Gain a shield equal to 10% of your maximum mana. The shield recharges after 10 seconds out of combat. This is a much safer choice, you will not run out of mana, but 10 seconds out of combat is really bad for me. I don't like this requirement. Tier 4 is fire, like all 3 talents are amazing. Increases character's maximum mana by 10%. You know that these talents are my favorite, like 10% mana, flat nothing, no requirements, easy peasy. The problem is that in this tier the other two are like too good. Damage dealing abilities restore 2% of the damage dealt as mana. Maybe 2% doesn't sound so big, right? Like you say 2%, it's not that much. But the damage numbers might be really high, so 2% will have a lot of value. Yeah, sure, some characters like healers, support will not be able to use this, but I'm pretty sure that hardcore mages will love it. Reduces the cooldown of all abilities by 20%. Okay, this is like super good, 5 out of 5, 20% is a big number. I don't know what is the cap, I really would like to know, so if you know, leave a comment, but it's one of the best talents in the game, I think. If a character remains stationary for 3 seconds, their abilities are enhanced by 15%. This is probably the worst talent I've seen in the game, like standing still for 3 seconds. Okay, let me think about it, like no. Like you fight PvE, you fight PvP, you always move, try to dodge the stance, like everything skill shot, like, ugh, it's so bad. When using an ability, reduces the remaining cooldown of other abilities by 1 second. I really like this one. I think it's gonna be like really useful, especially to heroes that have like a spell with 5 to 10 cooldown and they can not spam it exactly but use it often. I think this is gonna be really hot. Each character's damaging ability used on the same target increases the damage of the next ability used on the same target by 5%. The effect stacks up to 5 times and lasts 15 seconds. If the ability is used on a different target, the buff expires. Now, the first time I read this passive, I thought, oh my god, it's broken as fuck, but in the end, it's good. It's really good for bosses, really good for PvP because you hit like one guy, but that part that says that the ability expires if you hit a different target makes it a bit more balanced. And that wraps up the Mage talent tree. Bro, like keep in mind, you have to choose 3 trees, right? We just saw 1. So the customization is off the charts because you have the passives, you have your active talents, you have your artifacts and stuff that you're gonna use, like so many different options, like so many builds. People will be really creative, I think, with Corepunk, and that makes me really happy because I want to see what people are gonna do. Anyway, that's it for the Mage passive tree. Take care, see you on the next video.